What's up, football fans? Big Al here on this Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. And we are entering week number 2 of the NFL season. And we'll be taking a look at all the games coming up this week, plus my picks against the spread and straight up. And I'll even map out the Sunday afternoon games on both CBS and Fox. Now, there are a couple of things I want to jump into real quick before we dive into the preview. The Thursday night game between the Chargers and Chiefs on Amazon Prime Video will be seen locally on KTTV Fox 11 in Los Angeles and on KSHB 41 Action News in Kansas City. And then the first game of the Monday night doubleheader, the Titans and Bills, will be blacked out on ESPN in both Nashville and Buffalo. So locally in Nashville, the game will be seen on WZTV Fox 17. And in Buffalo, the game will be seen on NBC station WGRZ Channel 2. That game will be called by Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Dan Orlovsky. And that's the 7:15 game on ESPN. The 8:30 game on ABC will be called by Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So with that, let's jump right in to the week 2, to my week 2 picks, straight up and against the spread. We'll start out with that big Thursday night contest in the AFC West, pitting the 1-0 Kansas City Chiefs and the 1-0 Los Angeles Chargers. That's Thursday at 8:15 Eastern on Amazon Prime Video, called by Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. And again, being seen locally on Fox 11 in LA and KSHB in Kansas City. Point spread as of 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time is Kansas City at -4.5. And the over-under as of 4:10 Eastern Time on Monday is 54.5. I picked the Chiefs to win 31-24. This game finishing just over the 54.5. And I have Kansas City at home covering the 4.5 points. All right, now to the Sunday afternoon games. You have 7 games in the early window at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, and then 5 games in the late window. 2 games will air at 4:05 Eastern, and then the other 3 will air at 4:25 Eastern, and CBS is the doubleheader network this week. So we'll look at the Fox games first. The main game of national interest in the early window is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. The announcers are Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. And this game will be seen not only on WTBT in Tampa and WVUE in New Orleans, but as well as the local Fox stations in Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tucson, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, Denver, Colorado Springs, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Little Rock, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Des Moines, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cincinnati, Louisville, Columbus, Providence, Nashville, Memphis, Birmingham, Orlando, and that's among the markets that are getting this game. The point spread as of 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time on August 21st is Tampa Bay -3, and the over/under as of 8:30 a.m. this morning Eastern Time is 44 points. But these two teams tend to put up points when they play each other. Plus, the Saints seem to own the Buccaneers in the regular season, especially in New Orleans. But I do have Tampa winning this one 30-28. I have the game finishing well over the 44. And I have the Saints as the home underdog covering Tampa Bay's 3-point spread. Now, since that's the big game of interest in the early one on Fox, it's in red on 506sports.com. In blue is the Carolina Panthers at the New York Giants, which will be announced by Joe Davis and Daryl Johnston. This game will air on WJZY in Charlotte and on Fox owned and operated WNYW in New York. Other markets getting this game include Buffalo, Hartford, Philadelphia, Raleigh-Durham, Columbia, Myrtle Beach, and Charleston, South Carolina. Point spread as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time this morning is the Giants at -2. Over/under as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time yesterday is 43 points. I have the Giants winning this one 27-17. Game finishing 1 point over the 43. And I have New York covering the points. And then in orange is the Washington Commanders at the Detroit Lions. This game will be seen not only on WTTG in Washington and WJBK in Detroit, both of which are Fox owned and operated stations. This game will also be aired on the Fox stations in Baltimore, Richmond, Norfolk, Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, South Bend, and Toledo. The announcers are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Velma. Point spread as of 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday is Detroit -1. Over/under as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time today, Wednesday, as I'm recording this, is 49 points. I do have Washington. Can't stop yawning. I do have Washington winning this game 26-23. As far as the over/under, I got a push here. And I have Washington as the road underdog covering. Now to part one of CBS's doubleheader. The game shaded in red on 506sports.com is of national interest on CBS, and that's the New England Patriots at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The announcers are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. The main stations for this game are WBZ Boston and KDKA Pittsburgh. This game will also be seen on the local CBS stations in the following markets. And strap yourselves in because this is a long list. Seattle, Spokane, Boise, Portland, Oregon, Reno, Sacramento, San Francisco, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, San Diego, even though I have them written down twice, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Tucson, Albuquerque, Denver. I did not write Las Vegas, but that's okay. They're getting this game too. Colorado Springs, Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Omaha, Des Moines, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Kansas City, St. Louis, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Chicago, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Little Rock, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Memphis, Nashville, Atlanta, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham, Norfolk, Richmond, Buffalo, Philadelphia, Hartford, Providence, Cincinnati, Anchorage, and Fairbanks. Point spread as of 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, which is today as I'm recording this, is New England at -1.5. Over under as of 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is 40 points. I have the Patriots winning a low-scoring game, 21-14. I have the game finishing under the 40 points, and I have New England covering the 1.5 point spread. There it is. The game shaded in green is the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. This game will be called by Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. The main CBS stations for this game is WFOR Miami and WJZ Baltimore. And will be broadcast on the local CBS stations in Tampa, St. Petersburg, Orlando, West Palm Beach, Fort Myers, Birmingham, Louisville, and Honolulu. Point spread as of 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time this morning is Baltimore -3.5. Over under as of 8 a.m. this morning is 44.5. So around 8 a.m. Eastern Time, the numbers changed in this game. Both the over under and the point spread, those numbers moved a bit. I picked the Ravens to win this game 28-20. I also have them covering the 3.5 points. Plus, I have the game finishing over the 44.5 point total. In the green contour, you have the New York Jets at the Cleveland Browns, called by Spiro Dedes and Jay Feely. The main CBS stations for this game are WCBS TV in New York and WOIO in Cleveland. And not that big a coverage area because this game is primarily airing to northern and central Ohio and portions of upstate New York, including Albany, Syracuse, Columbus, Dayton, and Toledo. Point spread as of 4 p.m. Eastern Time Monday is Cleveland -6, and the over-under as of 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday is 39.5. Give me the Browns in this one, 31-16, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets shut down Baltimore or Cleveland's rush attack, just as they did the Ravens last week. So again, I got the Browns winning 31-16. I got this game finishing over the 39.5 point total. And I have Cleveland as the home favorite covering. And then the final game on the early schedule is shaded in yellow, and that's the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a 7-game home win streak against Indianapolis. They have not lost to them at home since 2014. This game will be announced by Tom McCarthy and Tiki Barber. The main CBS stations are WTTV in Indianapolis and WTTK in Kokomo, Indiana, as well as WJAX-TV in Jacksonville. And this game is primarily being broadcast to Indiana and northern Florida, including South Bend, Fort Wayne, Evansville, and Tallahassee. So again, limited coverage area here. Point spread as of 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on September 7th, which was 1 week ago, is Indianapolis -4. Over under as of 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is 46.5. And I think the streak will continue for the Jags. I have Jacksonville winning 24-21, the game finishing under. And as the home underdog, I have Jacksonville covering Indy's 4-point spread. Okay, so those are the early games. Now to the later portion of the Sunday afternoon schedule. Now, there are two games on Fox airing of regional interest at 4:05 Eastern Time, 1:05 Pacific Time. In the green on 506sports.com is the Atlanta Falcons at the Los Angeles Rams. The main Fox stations for this game are WAGA in Atlanta and KTTV in Los Angeles. This game will also be seen on the local Fox stations in San Diego, Bakersfield, Jacksonville, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Boston. And this game will be announced by Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez. The point spread as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time Monday is the Rams -10.5. Over under as of 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is 47 points. I have LA winning this game big, 38-13, and I have them covering the points and this game finishing over the 47. So, long story short, I think the Rams bounce back after that dreadful performance against the Bills. The other 4:05 Eastern game on Fox is the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers, and that game is shaded in yellow on 506sports.com. The announcers are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. The main Fox stations for this game are KCPQ in Seattle and KTVU in San Francisco. This game will also be airing on the local Fox stations in Fresno, Sacramento, Reno, Portland, Oregon, Spokane, Boise, Anchorage, Honolulu, and that's all of them. Point spread as of 11:05 p.m. Eastern, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time this morning is San Francisco -9.5, and the over/under as of 10:55 a.m. Eastern Time this morning is 45.5. I have the Niners winning 24-14. This game finishing under the 45.5 point total, and I have the Niners covering that massive spread. Now to game 2 of CBS's doubleheader. In the red is the national game of interest, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Dallas Cowboys, called by Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The main CBS stations are KTVT in Dallas-Fort Worth and WKRC in Cincinnati. This game is also being broadcast on every CBS television station in the Eastern Time Zone, as well as in Portland, Oregon, Los Angeles, Boise, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Anchorage, Honolulu, Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Little Rock, New Orleans, St. Louis, Des Moines, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Chicago, Memphis, Nashville, and Birmingham. All right. The point spread as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday, or earlier today, is Cincinnati -7.5. Over under as of 11:15 a.m. today is 45.5. or rather 41.5. I have Cincinnati beating the injury-riddled Cowboys 31-14. This game will finish over the total, and I have the Bengals covering the 7.5 points. Next up in the blue on 506sports.com is the Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders. The announcers are Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta. The main CBS stations for this game are KPHO here in Phoenix and KLAS in Las Vegas. This game will also air on the local CBS stations in Tucson, Reno, San Diego, San Francisco, Sacramento, Fresno, and Bakersfield. Point spread as of 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is Vegas -6. Over under as of 2:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday is 51.5. I have the Raiders winning 27-24. This game finishing under the total. And I have Arizona as the visiting underdog covering the 6 points. I picked the Cardinals to cover the Chiefs, and we all know what happened. They got blown up. And then the last Sunday afternoon game, which is in the green on the CBS late map on 506sports.com, is Houston Texans at the Denver Broncos. The announcers are Andrew Catalon and James Lofton. The main CBS stations are KHOU in Houston and KCNC in Denver. This game will also air on the local CBS stations in Seattle, Salt Lake City, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, Wichita, Omaha, and Kansas City. Point spread as of 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday is Denver at -10. Over under as of 11 a.m. Eastern Time today is 45 points. I have the Broncos winning 31-10. And I have this game finishing under the 45 points. And I have Denver covering the 10-point spread. Now to Sunday Night Football. The Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific on NBC. Of course, the main NBC stations for this game are NBC-owned WMAQ. The main NBC stations for this game are NBC-owned and operated WMAQ TV in Chicago and NBC affiliates WGBA in Green Bay, as well as WTMJ in Milwaukee, which happens to be the Packers' secondary market. Point spread as of 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time Monday is Green Bay -10. Over under as of 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is 42.5. I think there's going to be a few more points scored in this one. I have Packers winning 28-20. The game finishing over the 42.5, and I have Chicago as the visiting underdogs covering the 10 points. Somehow, someway, I think Chicago finds a way to keep it close. And then you have a Monday night doubleheader. The first game up at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. Pacific on ESPN is the 0-1 Tennessee Titans at the 1-0 Buffalo Bills. And again, that game will be called by Steve Levy, Louis Riddick, and Dan Orlovsky. And will air locally on WZTV in Nashville and WGRZ in Buffalo, as ESPN will black out the game in those markets. Point spread as of 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is Buffalo -10. Over under as of 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday is 48.5. I'm picking the Bills to win 34-20. This game will finish over the 48.5 points. And I have the Bills covering the 10. And then final game of the week has a pair of undefeateds. The Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles. Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on ABC. The main ABC television stations for this game are KSTP in Minneapolis and ABC owned and operated WPVI TV in Philadelphia. Point spread as of 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday is Philadelphia minus 2.5. Over under as of 10:15 p.m. on Tuesday night is 50.5. I'm picking the Eagles to win this game 31-23, and I also have them covering the 2.5 points. And I got this game finishing over the total. I did not write that in for some strange reason. But yeah, there are my picks for week 2, the maps for the Sunday afternoon games, and the announced teams as well. And give me just a second as I will be back to give you the week 3 college football schedule and the announced teams for all the college football games this weekend. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell twice every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and enjoy the picks, kid. Peace out.